time is the only thing that's going to show you that you are chosen to do this thing. Because art is special in such a way that there's only 3 people who create in the universe. Yeah, and creating is godly. You must know that creating is a godly thing. So the only God, a woman, and a creative. Those are the 3 people that create life. Because a song is life. A piece of art is life.
Yeah, dreams. Yeah, I got dreams. Yeah, I got dreams. Yeah, I got dreams. Let me do me now. Let me do me. Let me do me now. Let me do me. I got dreams. Yeah, I got big dreams. I don't sleep, cause nothing really comes cheap.
Sanibonani babukele emakhaya, ngiyanamukela to another episode of Ina Upopile. Nihleli noLumkile wakaZinyanga ke njengenjwayelo. Bengicela nje ukuthi uma subscribe on the page, please make sure that you subscribe and click the notification button for more content. So business of the day, I'm with a brother of mine here, wasemlazi. His stage name is BlackSoul. Sike sasebenza khona nje amanye amavideo akawashoota from kuyona show engike nawabona before. So namhlanje nje we're gonna be engaging, isikhuluma ngezinto eziningi from business, music, background yakhe, ama inspiration. So nje without waiting any time, how are you my brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to have you on the show, man. It's good to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure. I've been wanting to be on the show for a long time. So yeah, it's really good to ubala.
Okay. That's good. Ngicela nje introduce abantu ukuze abantu bakwazi yabo.
Go by the name of BlackSoul Siziba. My stage name, I make music, hip hop music, rap, any type of music.
Okay. Yes. So Jawusho nje, where did it all begin? When did you first had the interaction with the music?
First interaction, I think ngangilalela Linda Sibiya somewhere. Wanted to be a radio DJ. Then from there, I discovered that actually i-talent elingapha music yabo. But ngisebenza music kuphela. Also have a agency, solid base agency, that we do PR, branding, marketing, and events and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Ngoba vele ngesomthetho kuina upopile, that's what we do vele. Sihleso ibuyele eqaleni yabona, and then we grow with it mfethu ukuze abantu ba understand. So nje awukusho mfethu, describe the background yakho mfethu, umuntu okhule kanjani, ukhule kwi environment kanjani?
I was born in Mzimkhulu.
Okay.
That's my home actually. I still have my parents there and everything.
Oh, umkhaya kanti.
Yeah. So like from Mzimkhulu, I think I went to primary Maritzburg until grade 3 or something. Then grade 4 I came like to Bane, started studying in North. I think it was somewhere in Avoka, a school called St. Michael's. Then from there, went to high school at Clearwood High. Then from Clearwood High, that's where I started music. And then from Clearwood High, I went to Joburg, did a degree there, and then got right, I think it was in 2019, then came back to Durban and started working with Solid Base Agency and, just continuing with the journey.
So ngathi nje background yakho fethu i-influence kanjani umuntu oyena njengamanje?
Influence kakhulu because many background yami it's multifaceted, like there's no one way to describe it. Njoba ngichazile nje ukuthi the story involved Mzimkhulu, Umlazi, Jozi, and like different languages in between. So I've always been, it's made me a person who's able to adapt to any environment, because I've never been in one environment for more than 10 years.
Yeah. So how many years manje have you been mhlawumbe usegameni doing music?
I've been making music since 2010. Yeah, so it's like 10 years.
12 years, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Like 12 years,
yeah, that's a lot. Did you always know kodwa mokhula ukuthi ufuna ukuba entrepreneur or a musician, or it's something that you discovered mhlambe endleleni?
I think I've always wanted to be in entertainment business, like from sayingani, because even like njengoba bengichaza ukuthi the Linda Sibiya influence, like he made me see that actually like my life is there, like it's in entertainment, whether I'm radio DJing or whether I'm DJing or whether I'm making music or dancing or whatever, but I want to be there in entertainment. So like it's always been into yokuthi come from a family whereby my grandfather was like an entrepreneur. He had like some businesses, or like emakhaya and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to continue from that legacy and the entertainment, since it's in my heart, and then the business thing, it just merged. Yeah, but kwenzeka ngendlela engangayilindele, because manje I always thought I was gonna like make music first and then like be famous and then start the business later, you know, but then it was the other way around, you know, the business, like I started the music, then in between it was like the business just took over, and then I went into a little bit of a hiatus in terms of the music while I was busy with the business. So it's just story Sam, it's just I just follow my heart. I don't have like any sort of formula that I follow. Yeah.
Okay, so nje who was inspiring you mhlambe ezubukhula mhlawumbe bekumuntu obeseduze noma bekumuntu olentozana obekude mhlambe ungamregada as a role model, because I do believe ukuthi hlezi kunaleyo umuntu oqala yabo owafaka ihlansi to you and then you ran with it.
I think the first person to inspire me, like it was Linda Sibiya, and then my grandfather as well. Like I've never met him because Washona, I was like 2 years old or something, but his stories, I was always like, I want to be that guy, and from there it just moved towards being my teachers. Some of my teachers, like my maths teacher, still inspires me now, my science teacher, and then music-wise, the first people to be like to make me want to get behind the mic and the music, it was Big Nas.
Okay.
Yeah. Big Nas is like my all-time.
Hey, everyone was inspired by Big Nas, because bekuyizona vele lezo ikhathi lezo around boma 2009 2010.
Yeah, that's when I started music here lapho. Big Nas because the thing with Big Nas, it was just like they were the biggest thing in South Africa, but like I could see them like this and talk to them because they would come to the hood, and like backstage I'd be like, yo, brazo, like Skulum, and they were always chilled, like Danger, I've spoken to him as a kid, Mampinja as well. So to me it was like my first moment to actually umuntu oyiselebu, umuntu ophilayo njengami. That thing ukuthi wow, this guy, like these guys are so big, but like they from here, nami I'm from here, that means Nama can do his thing. Then that's how it started.
Cha ngiyezwa mfethu nje ukuthi even I'm sure even your grandfather la ekhona mfethu uyazi, because vele lento nama I do believe ukuthi sometimes lento ihamba by DNA, sometimes mfethu spirit angeke sesidefine ukuthi how does it work, kodwa kuhle ukuzwa nje ukuthi kukanjalo mfethu. Mhlambe when was the first time mhlambe use studio yabo qala nje
studio? I remember. So what happened was I was in grade 9. Grade 9, grade 8 actually. Grade 8. I met this guy. He was like my best friend. So he wanted to do. He was inspired by Big Nas. I was inspired by Big Nas. He was from Gayu, mina ngihlala kaV eMlazi. So it was like that. What I felt, he was the only one that I saw that he can feel it. So what we did was we looked around for studios. We first started writing our bags. So by the Big Nas. We had our bags by the Big Nas. And then from there, we saved the money, like 5 rands each a day from our lunch money, because I remember I used to carry 5 rands. And then we wouldn't buy anything in school. Like we'd take those 5 rand, I'm 5 rand to bag. Like he was very good with keeping money. So I would give my 5 rands to him. And then silibele senza kanjalo because he knew a guy on a studio wambuza ukuthi malini ukurecorda, and then he was like it's 300 rand. That was hella. It's still expensive now, but for a child, I mean, So what happened was we saved 10 rands a day. I don't know for how long, until we made 300 rand. And then we went and we recorded a Kwaito song.
What was it called?
I remember how it went, but I don't remember the lyrics.
No, sengisho nje isihloko salo ukuthi la kuthini isihloko salo.
Amasosha or something. Because Sibiza Gabasosha. Because we went to studio and then we recorded the song. Obviously it wasn't nice, but
no, but it was the beginning of it.
But we went there, and then the producer, he was like a guy called Master, and Master was known, he used to record Spisongane back in the day. So when you got there, it was full studio. So we don't know, and then Master was editing our lyrics, saying, instead of saying this, why don't you say that? And but we recorded that song. We didn't like it. Obviously, Ngoma Yokala, you're not gonna like it because we're keeping because the skill suckers level. But that's why it's important to always follow your heart. Because your heart will always tell you something pure that God wants you to say or do. And it's always perfect in your heart and your mind. I'm sure now as a businessman, you see the way you think of yourself, it's perfect. You think of yourself in a nice palm tree place. But that's what God wants for you. But the moment you start doing it, it's not as glamorous. But so that's where the disappointment comes in, and then now you have to make a decision whether you want to keep pushing or whether you want to stop this thing. But so from there we did that Kwaito song. Didn't like it. I was stopped for some months. I didn't. When I was a child, I was thinking about a lot of things at once. And in grade 9, I met another friend called Utinki. He was rapping, he was into rap, hard. And then he used to do ciphers during break time. And then that's when I went from being in the Kwaito thing to rapping. But then from there I was inspired by Abdus.
Tuman.
I started rapping like him. He knows, I've told him. So it's been a long journey. Corner the thing that I want to mention. I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem. 2 or 3 poems when I was in primary. I was in grade 6 or something, grade 5 or 6. Because I remember Yambono Hauser.
Hauser.
He was on backstage. And then he was doing this thing called beat poetry. But he was dropping bars. But he was saying it in a poetic way. Like he would say da 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 da, and then they would all be like, whoa, And then I started writing that stuff because in I think it was Elo or something, they were talking about HIV and AIDS or whatever. You know what they teach the kids these days. So I wrote a poem about HIV and AIDS that was like a beat poem, like that. That was my first time writing bars, like, but I didn't see it that way at that time because I was still a child. But when I look at it now, that was the first time I wrote like lyrics that started rapping. But that was the last time because after that I went into the kwaito, then into rap again. Yeah, but so like grade 9 we started doing these ciphers, escoleni, and then people started joining us. Like a lot of other people started joining us to a point whereby our ciphers at some point they were having like 10-20 people around us listening. Yeah, but and then we'd always do it in the second lunch break, and then get last period like nobody would want to go back to class. So yeah, that's how it went. And then my first hip-hop song I did, I recorded it in that year, grade 9. I recorded it in Makaya in Zimkul. That was the first song I did. I had somebody do a chorus for me. He killed it. And then like that was my first exposure to things like auto-tune. Started it was called Be There. Yeah, it was I'ma be there, no, something like that. Like that's how the chorus went. And because the guy was doing the hook, Young Les in Makaya Valley, he had some clout because he was like rapping already. He had some clout, and nobody knew me that I was rapping. So like when we did that song together, it was also his hottest song. Well, he's been rapping, but like that song was the hottest song he's done because the beat and everything. And then that song just like it did the rounds in the way. But there was no this of downloading. People were sending Bluetooth, sending word of mouth. And then like niggas started being jealous. You know, in Makai, there's always those things like, I got this one. That you hear somebody's talking some shit about you, and then I didn't care because like I don't stay there. But like I only come on my holiday. I do my thing. They do their own shows like Emaholo, Akona, and stuff like that. I don't go there. Like I tried going once or twice to those shows. But you know, like for me, I spend more time studying the game than actually like rapping or being in front of people like this. Like I study the game on a daily. So when I was in front of those people, I saw out of all these people here, like my market is not here.
So BlackSoul vele nangaleso sikhathi or mhlambe igama liqhamuke around egaming, and what was the inspiration behind the igama about BlackSoul? Because I think it's big yabo. Yeah.
So like back then when I was starting out, I had another name.
What was it?
It was NATO. I think I was NATO or something like that. And then from there I was just like for me NATO was like a project, like trying out this because I didn't know what I was doing. So along the lines I came with this name, BlackSoul. Because I thought about it. I was like I told Dinky, I was like, BlackSoul, BlackSoul, it means that I don't remember who I was listening to that was saying when God creates a human being, it creates a spirit, and then he puts the spirit in the body, and then like your spirit will all forever be pure. Yeah, but like you sin ngomzimba wakho, and then your spirit will always be that thing that God takes when you're when you're no longer on earth. Yeah, but so I was looking at it like, what color? Because I was also into art. I'm still into art, but like I was looking at colors, like all these other colors, you can dilute them. White, you can add black, it becomes black. Orange, you can add white, it becomes yellow. All those things. But what is the color that you can't change? And that is black. I know somebody's going to say you can add white to black and whatever, but think about it. Black is the strongest.
Once you go
color.
black, you never go back.
You never go back. Yeah, and it also resonated with me being like an African. Yeah, so I looked at it. I brought the two together. That like my spirit or my soul rather is black because it cannot be diluted. It will always remain the same throughout these things that I go through in life. It will always stay the same. So that's how the black soul thing came about. And then like I started hearing that there's other black souls, whatnot, and then I was like, okay, cool. Since Vele, I've always wanted to follow in the legacy of my grandfather. I'm just gonna say BlackSoul Siziba. Siziba is my surname.
Okay.
You know, because I also believe that the power is in your surname. If you look at Tom Ford, that's somebody. Louis Vuitton, that's somebody. Like all these people who left legacies that still live on, they did it through their surnames.
That's the power of surnames.
So like BlackSoul Siziba, that's the stage name.
So awusho mfethu nje on your music journey and both business journey, imaphi ama challenges mfethu obhekane nawo nje mhlambe egemini, and how did you overcome lawo ma challenges?
Oh maningi.
Cha unga-highlight nje lawo nje nawe that made an impact in your life, because I do believe ukuthi khona lawo that you can't forget.
That you can't forget, yes. The first one was obviously convincing myself that I am this guy. Like, because people who know me, like I'm very shy. Like if you know me, like I'm not talking about the people who know me on social media or everywhere else, but like I have that element of being shy, of which I've been working all the years to try and overcome that thing in me. So the first challenge was convincing myself that like I am Black Soul, you know, like. Because everybody that knows you, it's like now and then, everybody that knows you, before you started this Now Popile and every business that you're in, you first had to convince yourself that you are that person you see in your dream, right? Because your whole environment is telling you that you're not. But you wake up in the morning, your family sees you as that boy that they raised. So you first have to overcome that. Like I'm not this boy. And to people that think they know you or people that are around you, when you embark on that journey, they try to convince you that you're not that person. And some of them, they do it unconsciously. Because
the way it's programming.
Yes, it's like that's how you get people telling you that you've changed. Or like you do these things, that thing already, that tone, it tells you that person is in denial of
what you're doing,
right? So like that was the most difficult thing for me, convincing myself. And then once I had tried to get that groove that, okay, I am this guy, I had to convince everybody else. And then the second challenge was obviously like convincing my family that this is the path that I want to take. And I remember because I started varsity, I was doing science.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing biological science. And then, because I was very good in science in school, like science and mathematics, I was like 100. Yeah, but obviously, like as the grades went by, like grade 11, 12, ngase ngiqala ukwehlisa kancane because manje to me that's when I saw ukuthi I'm the type of person who works to prove myself most of the time wrong or right or whatever the situation may be, because at first I was always failing maths. So me being the best math student in my class came from the fact that I wanted to prove to myself that I'm the only one in my family that can do this maths thing. Yeah, well then I did that. Then like everybody was like, the teachers was like, that you're such a nice student, whatever. Yeah, well, and then when that thing over, like, you see, that glory, I'm like, okay, I can do this thing now. Then that's where I started being like a little bit complacent and saying Tolo 60, 65. Yeah, well, because I was doing 90s and shit. Yeah,
plus the primary.
High school, I'm talking about high school. Yeah. I'm talking about high school, like physical science and whatnot. But physics, I was not doing 90s in physics. I was doing that thing in what's this other one? Life science. So like after that, went into varsity, ngenza biological science. Then when I got to varsity, to me, in my mind, like, you know how the education system in this country is set up, it's like it doesn't prepare you for life. It doesn't prepare you for varsity. Like, because I was like one of the best students in my science class. But when I went and did biological science in varsity, it started sounding like Chinese. It started sounding like Chinese. It was like so timid and boring. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, like, this is not what I want to do. And then I failed the first year. And then I was like, in my heart, I knew that like, this is not what I want to do. But then it was like, I was not ready for that moment whereby I'm confronting myself and sitting down with my family and telling them, like, I was not ready for that. Then I carried on the next year, repeater. Started Gamnandi. I want to prove again that I can do anything that I put my mind to. Like the very same subjects I was failing, the first block, like I started getting like A's. Because I was like, I'm gonna shape up.
The mentality
and then like second term, it comes back again that no, this thing is not me. Like but it just kept coming back. And this time it was like harder to ignore. But to a point whereby going to class started depressing me. Like I didn't want to be there. Like when I would walk in, I'd look at everybody inside that lecture room and I was like nobody's like me here. Like I don't belong. And then that's where now I started trying to look at what in art can I do, because it was clear to me that I belong in art. So I started looking. It was hard. That was the most difficult time of my life, because like I left Joburg during school. Like people were going to class. I left. I bought a ticket to KZN Music in Bizo. I bought myself a ticket for a bus. Came with the bus. stayed with my cousins here in Glenwood, attended music Imbizo that whole week. While they were attending class, I was going to music Imbizo on my cousin's bicycle every day. And that's where I started seeing that this thing, I can make it into a career. Yeah, but that's when I started seeing that there's actually a music business. Yeah, but there's publishing, there's distribution, there's artist management. It's a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things. Like, that's when I started seeing that this thing is deep. It's like bigger than me. Yeah, but then from there I came back. I already knew that I'm done with science. When I came back from Music Imbizo, I knew that I was done with science.
So ivuleni ni company yakho ndile open by Solid Base agency.
I opened the Solid Base agency in 2018.
Okay.
But I started running it last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
So dilwa nani kakhulu nje kwi Solid Base agency?
Dilwa nje kakhulu ne PR, branding.
Okay, I know ngiyakuzwa mfethu ngiyakuzwa and iya inspire mfethu kakhulu istory sakho. So nje ukusho mfethu, how did you overcome ke yona ke depression and anxiety uma ke usungena kwi art space, because phela na art space yabo i art space ichallenge kakhulu ke more than any other space. Mina I do feel like engathi abantu abenza izinto ezine art phakathi bona aba attackwa kakhulu izinto njengo, because we must create, yabo, we must not follow, we must lead, yabo, we must not expect ukuthi izinto zifikele. So that means ukuthi we must act ngaso sonke isikhathi. So wena nje awusho yini ekusizile?
Yeah, for me into engisizile, like my first encounter with like being like depressed and not knowing where my life is going. It was that time whereby I was moving from science to art. Yeah, but so like it was bad because like I lost my funding in school. Like it was terrible. But as soon as I made the transition into art and started studying EBA, which is what I ended up graduating with, like I started feeling liberated, you know, like being around other artists. That's what inspired me. Yeah, but like knowing that I'm not lost. Yeah, because at times where like with depression, what fucks you up the most is that thing of thinking that you are alone in that situation, and thinking that like there's no reason for you to be feeling like this. It's unjustified. Yeah, but as soon as you start seeing other people that are in the space as well, you start seeing that you're not lost. So that's how I made it out. But also the most important thing how I made it out is that like I never stopped praying. Like I just kept praying, because I think that's the most important thing for an artist or anybody who's a creative, because I believe within art awuyikhethelweni yona ekhetha wena. Yabo.
Yeah, that's true.
Uyibona lento ngokuthi labantu kuyibona bayikhetha. When the going gets tough, they move to other careers and forget about it. Masubabuza bathi hayi ngayishiya phansi yonke leyo nto mina bafo. Yabo, and it's easy for them to say that because they were not chosen. Like it's not a calling. It's like being a pastor. Yeah, but all these other pastors asebenza izinto esingazazi, it's because they were not chosen by God to do that thing. Yeah, but they chose it for themselves. And that time is the only thing that's going to show you that you are chosen to do this thing. Because art is special in such a way that there's only 3 people who create in the universe. Yeah, and creating is godly. You must know that creating is a godly thing. So the only God, a woman, and a creative. Those are the 3 people that create life. Because a song is life. A piece of art is life. You know, what we're doing here is life, because somebody's going to watch it 10 years later and it's going to give them what? Direction. Yeah, going to. So you must look at all those things. If you're chosen by God to do things, to go through a process of creation, you're always gonna face the most difficult challenges, because we live in a world whereby the devil is fighting hard to rule the world. So like that's how you have the artists being attacked all the time, the artists being made to look like they're a boost. Yeah, because that's what we go through as artists. Like people think like you're a boost or some shit, like, or they can just come at you anyhow. They feel entitled to your life. Like, how are you not taking a picture with me? And that time umuntu didn't even greet you. So it's difficult like that. But I just think that the key to that thing is just trying to be closer to God by all means. That's where you're going to get the answers. You're not going to get the answers from human beings, because they're also lost. You must remember that you, as an artist or a creative, God chose you to come and lead. So you can't look for leadership in the same people where so you're going to get answers from God.
Hayi ngiyakuzwa mfethu, ngiyakuzwa. Ngifuna nje sike sikhulume about the EP onayo le hlanganisa ingoma lezi eyiwinile kwiGagas, because nakhona I would like for you nje first to explain ukuthi yini ebiyenzeke eGagasini, yabo.
So what was happening at eGagasini, it's still happening. It's not something that was. It's just me now, I'm out of it now because I need to focus on other things. But it's a thing called the Kibeli Beat, ne? It's on Friday at Gagasini at 8, I think it's 9 p.m. Yeah, on Friday, every Friday. So what happens is that Unjinga, the guy who hosts the show, he does that show, and he also does the top 30 on Saturday, I think. So he gives 2 artists 1 beat, and then they create songs. You create your song, I create my song, but with the same beat. And then the listeners are gonna judge who made the better song out of that beat. So we did that thing for 6 weeks. We won for 6 weeks. And then on the 7th week, I had to face Prince Gemini, who has won for 10 weeks. He's like the OG of that show. So I had to face him, and then he won, and then we closed that season, and then now they have new artists. So also, if you're an artist out there in KZN, you can just listen to that show, and you can start submitting, and it gives you that a little bit of exposure. In fact, not a little bit. I mean, like Gagas is the biggest commercial station in KZN. So yeah, we made those songs. And then people would just because they only played eGagasini, and then they had no other way which by Lalelo or Bazizwe. So decided to and just release them. They're out there on Solid Base Agency YouTube channel. I'm gonna give you the link, so you put it in the description for this video. Yeah, it's seven songs.
Okay, zingani nje ingoma? Izona nje exactly nama beat or
izona exactly nama beat akho. So nje ngithathele za ingoma nje esayizenzele iGagas ngayi release. That's all I did. So like they khuluma ngezinto eziningi because laphana unikezwe ibeat ya noma yiphi genre. Yabo, so khona ipiano, khona igqomu, khona ihip hop, khona old school rap, khona trap. Yabo, like it's a whole lot of things. And for me, the most challenging one was the piano one. Yeah, it was the piano one. That was the most challenging one. The gqom one, not so much, because like I started making kwaito, you understand. I started out making kwaito. So for me, it was just revisiting that thing. Yeah.
And igqom vele into yethu vele uma uzobheka kahle igqom thina ne hip hop yeah kuyalinka nekwaito even nabo
Kuyalinka.
big nazi nabo we were confused ukuthi they were doing kwaito or they were doing gqomo
Yeah,
because
yeah.
kwakukhona nje leso
But
speech
I
pitch
actually
nje
think,
lesikhona.
I think like as South Africans, we like labeling things too much. Yeah, bo. We like coming up with new labels for the same thing. Because mubukusisa kahle ikwaito hip hop yala eMzansi.
Yeah.
Uyayibona leyo nto le. I-rap ama-kwaito artist ama-rappers. So mubuka ikwaito njengoba sekuthiwa manje ikwaito ifile ikwaito ayifani. Ikwaito it went from being kwaito old school, then it became Durban kwaito, then it became gqom, now it's piano. But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You get me?
There is that element ekhona
Ikwaito nje saqhubeka nje kusayikwaito. Uyayibona because if you look at uRis noZuma, they always winning best kwaito at the summers. Always. Reason why? Because they embody that thing that we're doing kwaito.
Ukuthi phela thina eSouth Africa I feel like sengazuthi sesiclassifyile ukuthi kahle because ama vocals ne beat kuhlukile. Into esishintsha I beat. The way we are saying it. Hey, abantu abaningi they think ukuthi kwaito kwakuyibeat kwaito. Kanti indlela umuntu asuke ekhipha ngayo ama lyrics that makes it
kwaito. Sihamba ne-beat kanti into ebalekile into eshiwo umuntu nendlela ayisho ngayo. That's why mina as a rapper I can go on a gqom beat. I can go on a piano beat. I can go, because now here's the thing, ne? It also goes along with this thing of having a problem of, I don't know how to define this thing, but South Africans, I think also colonialism played a big role there because we struggle to define ourselves because now there's that template that was used by the apartheid system to describe who and what a black person is. So now after apartheid, we're struggling to define this is that, that's why we keep coming with different names. No, this is not that, this is that, this is not that. Whereas ekugcineni muyibukisisa kahle lento into eyodwa iyaqhubeka uyayibona lento because manje if uzokwenza if uzobuka lento le eyayenzeka when Afrobeat is coming back now, it's trending again, but back then when it was just trending when Pori and Wizkid and they were starting that Afrobeat thing. South African rappers didn't have a problem jumping on Afrobeat. Yeah, but it wasn't Ihlazo. But suddenly, like in some circles, it started becoming a shame for a rapper to jump on Amapiano. And for me, that's like, it's stupid, bruh, because Amapiano is our Afrobeat. And to confirm that, Nigerians are doing piano now.
And all over, I would say creative. South Africa, but I mean, I do believe that we are creative. I can do when I'm a genre maning like us.
It's too much. It's too much because now, even like me as a mostly English rapper, I can still hop on piano and make something happen. Like I don't have to change much. Yeah, but well, for the Kakasi one, it was different because I was alone on the song. So I had to explore other elements. I had to sing, I had to rap, I had to, but if I'm being featured on a piano song and somebody else is doing the hook and whatnot, it'll still be Black Soul. Like there's nothing that's gonna change.
What can you say if it is the South African dream of it? Because I do believe we need to like define it in our own way. Because the South African dream, as I said before, it's not working. The first one was freedom. Then we got there in 94. Then after we must go to school. No, but politically,
paper,
political, because that was the political we got that, and then after that we want a vision. We must go to school, finish or matric, go to varsity, get a good job. Go to now, it collapsing some way. So
we need a new one.
So we need a new one. So when according to you, what can you say is the South African dream?
I'd say the South African dream is being able to compete on the global stage without having the label of nationality hanging over your head. I feel like as Africans, they like to categorize us alone, so we compete amongst each other instead of leave the fact that I'm African. I know you don't have to tell me. Leave it. Look at what I'm doing. Look at my art. Look at my music. Then tell me, am I good or am I whack? But don't tell me about best African, best Afrobeats, best Francophone, best what. No. Why? What is that? That is a construct that they create to show you that you can only be as good as this. As an African. Once we eliminate that thing,
limitations.
And also I feel like politically, what would make sense for us is like, I don't want to say this word because it's like, politicians, they use slogans nowadays. So immediately when you say a certain word that aligns to a certain slogan, it's like you're supporting someone.
So
yes, but what we need is that we need freedom, economic, not this freedom of being able to walk around. What are you gonna do with that freedom of being able to walk around? We don't want to be able to walk around only. We want to do things.
And also be to make money, to be millionaires. Because America, when you check the market, American people who are doing what we're doing, they are worth them a million. It's not like they're still fighting for peanuts.
No.
More good, you have a talent, you have something.
Here you have to work harder than anyone else in the rest of the world. And for me, that's the number one problem. Like, Americans are not more talented than us. Like, I hate this thing. I always fight with producers, artists, and whatnot in studio when we're making music. You see, we mustn't do it like this. You see the Americans, how they do it. I'm like, no, please. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because now you're putting Americans on a pedestal. The only thing that's better in terms of the American entertainment industry is the industry, the business.
The quality, the sound, boys and
yes, the equipment and whatnot. But bro, look at Amapiano. Amapiano was started by kids like in Mjondo, Elokshini, Computer Fana, or even like those big ones. But they did Amapiano, and that shit is banging around the whole world right now.
Well, when Americans, they're adopting it.
They're adopting it.
They're jamming to it.
Sooner or later, the Americans, to show that they, let me not say Americans only, but the rest of the world, to show that Africa is ahead. And we've always been ahead. The problem is that Africans, we don't see ourselves that we're ahead. Yabona isound like Africa. Iqali trend ekuthina 10 years before Americans are like, Afrobeat. when was Afrobeat banging, bruh? Think about it. We got DSTV in 2007, right? And then, like, I remember at that time we didn't have Channel O. We couldn't pay for it. They used to play Channel O and another channel until 12. Then Mr. Valley. So, like, that time Afrobeat was starting to pick up. He had abantu abanjengo Damo Dabling, Mr. Easy Mr. Easy is now. There was like legends like I remember Damo Dabling. She's from Mozambique, I think. Like they were doing that thing, and Channel O is the one that was pushing that African thing, pushing both WHP, pushing and then what happened was Afrobeats started to rise. 2007, 8, 9, 10. It was like big in Africa, And then when did Americans hop on the bandwagon? Yesterday. Sekono, Davido, Nabo Wizkid, Nabo. So Namapiano now. Bazoqala bona bawavume mhlambe next year. Ukuthi like they fully embrace that shit and they putting it in their charts and whatever. Cause manje bona bayazazi ukuthi by entertainment capital of the world. Anything they touch, it just goes to boom. So they look at a trend and then they see how far it's going. Because some trends they do this and then they do this. So American industry doesn't want to co-sign something that's gonna do that. They want to look at it for some years. Nyana, babon, which is this thing sustaining? Is this thing going up? Then they're gonna hop on it. So Afrobeat has proven the test of time. So now they have all these kids signing to RCA, and they all getting deals overseas and stuff like that. But Africans are really I wish we had more time to talk about how special African people are. Like by virtue of you being an African, like kuningi. Someone told me ukuthi i-Africa thina kusaqala kuthina la bona besalele ngale lokho already
we are 6 hours ahead kwi-America yabo.
What does that tell you?
We are
see ahead, literally, like literally think
it's our mind that is behind, because our mind is behind.
Because our mind is full of what? Is full of this thing.
Agenda footy from the media.
Also this thing, phone, laptop, media, television, radio, all these
and
things.
And the agenda is ehlisa i-confidence. About now we've been taught ukuthi we don't support one another. Which is a lie, because I do believe ukuthi ubuntu buqala kithi mfethu. Thina besinobuntu before everything. Besinobuntu before everything. Kuze kube manje. And if we can believe in ourselves and also be able to trust ourselves and also be able to work yabo among ourselves, singakhombani yabo because i-black on black crime is high yabo, high kakhulu
manje kufanele sidile nayo ephuthumayo umona.
Iyo phela lesifika
iyona inkinga esekhona manje ki-black community umona. Iyona nje inkinga. I don't know how we can get over that thing, but another thing also I feel like we need to figure out is that we need to figure out a way to create our own economy.
That's the sort of thing.
I'm not gonna say much of that, but the people at home, they're gonna think about this thing. How do we create our own economy? That's the answer.
Ngiyakuzwa my brother, ngiyakuzwa mfethu. So ngasho nje, what's the future plans for wena as an artist to BlackSoul and the company Solid Base Agents?
Future plans for BlackSoul, I have another EP coming. It's fully recorded, it's done. I was actually supposed to release that one, then the Kakasi thing came about, and then I was like, okay, let me just jump on that wave. But the EP Ikona, it's amazing, man.
When can we expect it? Mhlambe nje uma estimate noma ungasashongo the actual date?
You can expect it 2023.
Okay.
But not late, very early. Kuzothi nje nisaqeda ngiqhumisa cricket.
That's good.
Then in terms of your Solid Base, man, like Solid Base is going to be the biggest agency to come out of Africa. Like not just agency, like the biggest entertainment company to come out of Africa, because like we're looking at branching out. Right now we're still working on South Africa, obviously, because we need to find our footprint here. But like the future that we're looking at is having territories all around Africa. First, I don't want to talk about like all the other places. Africa first. We're gonna create that, because in terms of entertainment, the Western companies like Spotify, Apple Music, they struggling to understand the African market. That's a fact. Like I know some people can think I'm capping, but if you think I'm capping, you can go and check who's the biggest music streaming platform in Africa. It's not Spotify, it's not Apple Music, it's Boomplay, it's Mdundo. But many artists don't know that. They busy forcing people to go to Spotify, but the actual, what's the reality? Look around you. Banga kabante abamnyama banu Spotify. Banga kabante makaya banu Spotify. So like we as Africans, it goes back to the thing of creating our own economy. We need to look at the African market Yeah, but before we say we wanna, it's even qala ngezinto ezincane yabo ukuthi uthi wena muthola imali ugijima uye eDubai kodwa ukaze uye kephi eKenya. Yabo into kanjalo. So like we need to invest here in Africa. Inkinga ila usingayibalekeli inkinga nansi phambi kwethu.
And ithina futhi ithina we are the market.
Yeah, ibona so in terms of a solid base, that's where we're looking at to be like the biggest entertainment company to come out of Africa. Like and like once we are the biggest in Africa, our next goal is to overcome being from Africa. Like I was saying at that as a creative, as much as we don't want that thing, Yoguti, that guy from Africa, that African rapper, we don't want that, but it's the reality right now. So we first have to be the biggest in Africa. Then once you're the biggest in Africa, you have to fight to come out of the African bracket, like Black Coffee. Black Coffee, he was the biggest in Africa. Everybody was cool with that. All the people, all the DJs in the world, he's the biggest in Africa, he's the biggest in Africa. But it started to hurt when he was no longer the biggest in Africa, but the biggest in the world. Yeah, but I was listening to something, Kanye West, and he was like, everything that I do as Kanye West, it must hurt. So that's the motivation that I get. Like everything that we do, it must hurt. And what we mean by that is that we're fighting a lot of things as Black people. Yeah, but so if you're just doing it, it's not enough. It must hurt.
So nje ingayiphi advice mhlambe ongayinika umuntu ke manje obuka le video nje wherever la ikhona oyiseshaya mhlambe is doing soul searching noma ufuna ukuqala in the step of entrepreneurship noma ufuna ukuqala in music, yiphi your advice ongamnika yona njengamanje? What must they do njengamanje la bekhona to make sure ukuthi they keep moving?
The first thing that helped me was to start, man. Yeah, bro. Like a lot of young people, I was like that too. Like a lot of young people that come to me these days, we please help us. We don't have this. We need a producer. I don't have beats. I don't have that. I don't have that. You see, when your mind is like it's like a dough. You mold it into what you want it to be. So think about this. If you put dough into a square, it's gonna be a square. If you put dough into a round thing, it's gonna be round. So the minute when I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that, your mind thinks I don't have. Utoluguti, you have this mic. It's in front of you, but you can't see it. But because your mind is saying, I don't have. So the first thing, remove this thing of I don't have. Think about the things that you have. Then that's where you can start. Because I know people, like even me, I was like that. This mic is not good enough.
I need something more.
Yeah, this computer. Hey, this sound quite... Yeah, but let me tell you something. Music is spiritual, man. Like, for everybody that doesn't like your song and think it's whack, there's 5 other people who think it's dope. The reason why is because music is spiritual. So the moment you make music, you're telling your story, somebody's gonna relate. Even if it's shit, like even if you talk about some stupid shit, somebody's out there being stupid. So like people don't care about your song is not mixed and mastered properly. I'm not saying that it's not important, right? It gets important at a later stage
as you grow now as an artist.
But for the person who's starting, my best advice is for them to forget about the things they don't have. And just start. Just start. Once you start, you've overcome many of your problems. Like I was telling you, with Solid Base, I registered it in 2018. 2018, 2019, 2020, I didn't start. I was saying, hey, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Yeah, but then 2022, boom, I'm like, wow. Like, when am I gonna start this? Am I gonna wait till I die? Till I start this thing? Like, then that's when I went on Canva. Bruh, there's Canva. Like, I'm giving people a plug, like the youngins. I know there's some people who know Canva. I'm sure you know Canva. But there's young people who don't know Canva. There's Canva. You can go there, you can make your own artwork for your song. You can make your own logo for your company. You can make promotional videos. You can take a picture, put these nice logos. Maybe let's say it's Happy Christmas. Your company is saying Happy Christmas. Go there, you design a Christmas post. Anything you're thinking about, bruh. Like I went on Canva and I did my logo for Solid Base Agency, and I'm the only one that knows that I did it on Canva. Nobody knows, bruh. Yeah, but it looks just like the rest of the logos. And even if your logo is not the best, companies change logos all the time. Yeah, bro. So just get started. That's the best advice I can give.
Okay, so when can people find you? So umuntu nje manje sithi mhlawumbe there's someone who wanna book you, wanna follow you, cela nje unginike ama handles akho, your social handles, also your WhatsApp number. Umuntu ongafuna ukuthi axhumane nawe mhlawumbe umsize nje ngazo zonke izinto, whether it's business or music.
So Instagram, it's at BlackSoul_Siziba. So the Siziba is Siziba. I know some people, but Siziba is S.
I know them type of
yeah. And then Twitter, it's at BlackSoul Siziba. No underscore, it's just one word, at BlackSoul Siziba. And then go Facebook, BlackSoul Siziba. You can also DM me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. In terms of WhatsApp, it's 073-127-1627. That's my personal, because I forgot the other one I use for business. God, it's okay, man. Like people can hit me up. It's fine. People hit me up over like some other stuff. It's okay. You can just take that number. 073-127-1627, and then email for bookings and Solid Base related matters and events, because we're also going to be having an event on the 17th of December. It's going to be at On Point Waterfront. We're going to be having Prince Gemini, BlackSoul, Njinga, and it's going to be nice. So the email for Solid Base is solidbasepr@gmail.com. So solid as in solid, and then base PR@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much thank you
for having me, my brother.
We show to sikwazi ukengage ngalo, because phela what we doing we are sparking the brain of people who gonna change the world, because asazi ukuthi who's gonna play what role going forward. So what we can do nje thina is to do what we do best and remain original. To all the best going forward. Hopefully even now in future we'll have another interview like this. Yeah, bonakala nane progress of where we are going. So now you can say goodbye, Bantu.
Thank you so much. Now Popile. It's an honor. It's an honor.
So babona on the 17, abantu they must make sure they go to that event on the 17.
So come through. It's free. We're not charging people yet. Yeah.
Okay. No, ngibonga kakhulu nje ku BlackSoul for being part of the show. Nje it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And more good now subscribe on the page. Just make sure that you subscribe, click the notification button, share with your friends. Yabo manju, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So yabo, we're pushing the movement. Pushing the movement. Now popile yabo, now pumelele. If you believe it's possible, yabo, and it's possible for everyone who tries, yabo, just act. Yabo, start. Start. Yabo, start everything that you think you must start. Start it. There's no excuse. Yabo. Lumkile Zinyanga signing out. Ngiyabonga.